Uh, Good morning, friends. You must be rather wondering how our minister MIB, Venkaiah Naidu ji, is also here, and Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog is also here. In fact, Minister was not scheduled to have a session, but the moment he came to know that all of you have come from all corners of the country, he said, I will talk to Vice Chairman Sab and I'll take just 15 minutes and I will address you. As you know, he doesn't need an introduction and he doesn't like a formal introduction because it is like stating the obvious and the prominent. And nevertheless, sir, in spite of your busy schedule, you are here and it has raised the standards of this conference and you are a great source of inspiration to us. We are grateful for your encouraging presence, sir. The minister has to attend a consultative committee, so he will make his opening remarks and leave. And friends, ever since its inception in January 2015, Niti Aayog has been the guiding force behind the spirit of strengthening cooperative federalism. To tell you more on this and forthcoming initiatives, Vice Chairman Niti Aayog, Shri Arvind Panagariya ji is here. It's my privilege and honor to welcome you, sir. First, the Honorable Minister will address, and then the Vice Chairman will take over. And you know the points of order, I won't repeat. We will first give the opportunity to people from the regional media. Over to the Honorable Minister.
Honorable Vice Chairman of the Niti Aayog, one of the world-renowned economists hailing from India, Sri Arvind Panagariya ji, Sri Frank Narona. Friends, I am very happy here in my ministry to welcome you all, and more particularly the regional media, because the region has come to the nation, because the nation is incomplete without region. So the government believes in cooperative federalism, and you are going to hear much about it by the Honorable Vice Chairman of the Niti Aayog. The very Niti, National Institute for Transformation of India, it gives a message of what are the intentions of the Prime Minister and this government. Friends, I am here to make a short comments because I told Frank Narona that I am here and not seeing you people when you all come to Delhi. It won't look nice. Though I am going to different regions, afternoon I am in another region, Maharashtra. Tomorrow morning I am in Telangana. Then afterwards I am in Andhra. And then by evening I am going to Tamil Nadu, tomorrow itself. Come back day after tomorrow. So I thought I should be here to welcome you all. Hearty welcome to all of you, particularly the regional media. Our national level friends, of course, we always meet here on regular basis. I want to make one point about this war on black money. As an information minister, Prime Minister has given us a 3-line mantra. He said, reform, perform, and transform. Then I said, sir, I will add reform, perform, transform, then we inform as Information Broadcasting Ministry. So I am here to inform you of one aspect of the Prime Minister's crusade against corruption. That is, the Prime Minister is determined to make India truly a Swachha Bharat in terms of Tanu, Mana, Dhan. Tanu means body. Mana means mind and heart. Dhana means money. So he wants to see that these three aspects, every citizen has to be pure, not only body-wise, but also in thoughts and action. As such, they should be in the forefront to fight corruption, terrorism, smuggling, drug menace, and other social evils that plague the nation. He has started the Swachh Bharat campaign to clean India physically. Then he has also started a social campaign of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, save the girl child, which is very much important for us. Then he also started guiding the people of their social behavior, ending untouchability. And then also plantation of trees to take care of environment, and also to have concern, social concern, corporate social responsibility towards the other problems of the people. Fighting the social evils, you have to change of mindset. Respecting a woman, you have to have the change of mindset. So that's why first he said Tanu, then Mana, then now Dhana. Money also has become very important in public life. He wants to reason. We are meeting here today just after a historic game-changing measure of demonetization of rupees 500 and 1,000 notes taken by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi as a part of the reformative initiative to firmly tackle the twin menace of black money and corruption. This is the noble task he has taken up upon himself from the day one. कुछ लोग कह रहे अचानक कर दिया, पहले बताए तो छिपाते थे. Some people are saying they should have been given an advance notice. Advance notice for what? I am not able to understand. See, when we came to power, please note, economy was in a bad shape. I am not making political criticism. There was fiscal deficit, there was revenue deficit, there was trade deficit, there was current account deficit, above all trust deficit. That has been taken care by our government, number one. With macro and economic indicators looking much better now, the International Monetary Fund has forecast the Indian economy is expected to grow by 7.5%. And India grows, the benefit should go to the common people rather than again reaching the rich. The FDI inflows have increased by 29% during April-March 2016 to 40 billion as compared to the same period last year. The foreign exchange reserves are at 367.14 billion in the week up to October. So what I am trying to say is the latest decision to demonetize was not taken in isolation through the announcement was sudden. Though the announcement was sudden, it was part of several steps. Number one, the first cabinet meeting of the Government of India held on 27th May 2014. First meeting. Number one agenda in the cabinet was constituting SIT, Special Investigation Team under Justice M.B. Shah to tackle the menace of money slashed abroad. That's the first decision. Second was black money, undisclosed foreign income and assets and imposition tax 2015 came into effect on July 1st, 2015. Second. The third step was including the constitution of a multi-agency group into Panama paper leaks, joining global efforts to combat tax evasion and black money by joining Ministerial Competent Authority Agreement, multilateral, in respect of automatic exchange of information, AEIO, and having an information sharing arrangement with the US under its Foreign Account Tax Companies Act, FATCA. Fourth, India entered into a double taxation avoidance agreement with several countries, including tax havens like Mauritius and Cyprus. An automatic exchange of information agreement was also negotiated with Switzerland to clamp down on black money. Fifth, recently, income tax declaration scheme was also implemented, and the Prime Minister has warned personally through Man Ki Baat that please cooperate because this will be the last chance for tax evaders. That is the advance warning. What else you need? He has said it in many words in the Man Ki Baat. With the parallel economy assuming menacing proportion, black money being used to fund terrorism, criminal activities, playing an important role in politics of the country, the government has to take this decisive and bold measure And this is what is done by Sri Narendra Modi. The historic step is being hailed by one and all, except some vested interests. Yesterday, I used a phrase, dear citizens, don't be panic. If you have valid money, it will not be invalid. If you have valid money, it will not be invalid. Because some vested interests are trying to create a panic. Apoha, bhai, 500 rupees khatam ho jayega, 1000 rupees khatam ho jayega, bekar ho jayega, ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. नहीं, बेकार नहीं हो जाएगा, वो साकार होगा, मगर उसको आकार अच्छा है तो उनका प्राकार भी ठीक है तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो साकार होगा. माने if you have hard earned money, accounted money, and still the notes are there with you, there is no problem in exchanging those notes. Please take it from. I would request all the media, particularly electronic media, nobody, of course, I am told, except from 495 channels, one channel from Tamil Nadu. Other than that, all channels are praising the step taken by the government. But some of them are devoting more time saying that यहाँ ये हो रहा है, वो दिक्कत है, ये दिक्कत है. ठीक है, दिक्कतें अच्छा है. वो दिक्कतें को सरकार एड्रेस कर रहे, मगर उसी को हाईलाइट करना जो मुख्य जो उद्देश्य है उसको थोड़ा कम करना, इससे देश को फायदा नहीं होगा. I don't know, some people are saying you should have given us notice and this is like emergency. What is emergency? I am not able to understand. What is emergency? Things are all moving. Cars are moving, trains are moving, metro is moving, rail is moving, people are moving, minds are moving. Everything is moving except black money. Everything is moving. I have not seen anything coming to a halt anywhere. So how can you call it as emergency? Absurd. Secondly, who is worried? Smugglers are worried. Armed dealers are worried. Drug menace fellows are worried. And also counterfeit currency fellows are worried. Other than that, nothing to worry. Some people are saying किसान को नुकसान होगा. किसान के पास काला धन है कहाँ भाई? एक तरफ आप कह रहे हैं किसान के पास धन नहीं इसलिए आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं. दूसरी तरफ आप कह रहे हैं किसान को, एक किसान के साथ अन्याय होगा ऐसा कमेंट करना. एक impression is being created in the country that as if Kisans are having a lot of black money, it will be difficult for them. Don't insult the farmers. I am also a farmer. They don't have any black money. Agriculture income is not taxable. Please understand. So no farmer need to worry. He can show what he has been showing and then have free exchange of money. Second, they are saying poor will be affected. Poor के पास इस देश में हजार नोट और 500 नोट इतना है क्या? Do the poor people of India have that much bundles of 1,500 rupees notes? So they will be difficult for them. On one side you are saying poor is neglected. On the other side you are now saying no, poor will be affected. How can these two things go together? So friends, there are small issues. Then the toll gate issue was taken care, hospital issue was taken care, and then ATM issue has been taken care, other issues. And now today you have the new thing also. The only difference you could see in the new currency is, earlier Gandhi ji used to be there. Now in the new currency, Gandhi ji ka chashma bhi hai. Chashma se dekh rahe Gandhi ji. आप इसको white रख रहे हैं, black कर रहे हैं. उसमें है note में. So I only appeal to all, including media and opposition parties, please don't create unnecessary apprehension in the minds of the people. Genuine problems are being addressed. There is regular monitoring of the situation by the Finance Ministry, Reserve Bank, and all these are part of the Prime Minister's ease of doing business, reasoning the public life, and also as a I&B Minister, ease of doing business, I will only make one small announcement and conclude. A total of 963 channels, including teleports, are going to be benefited by one decision taken by my ministry, ease of doing business. What is that? Every channel, every year has to do an annual renewal. Every channel has to do an annual renewal. You have to pay money, apply, and then get it processed, and then your annual this thing is renewed. We have decided now to completely do away with the process of obtaining an annual renewal for TV channels in the current form. What will happen? who have been given the permission for uplinking or downlinking can continue their operations by simply paying the annual permission fee up to 60 days before the due date, which by itself will be treated as permission for continuance of a channel for a further period of 1 year. एक साल के लिए होता है. You pay the money before 60 days and then automatically deemed to have been renewed. This arrangement is a major relief and part of the ease of doing business. My ministry is fully committed to the vision of the Prime Minister to promote ease of doing business, and what we are doing is part of the reform, perform, and transform. Friends, so there is going to be a State Information Ministers Conference, December 8th and 9th. 9th and 10th. December and 9th and 10th this year, there is going to be a State Information Ministers Conference after a long gap. And we'll all be meeting together. What are the problems faced by the Information Ministry, broadcasting issues, other issues. We'll be discussing threadbare and we'll be arriving at some good conclusions which will help the sector to grow further. This much from my side. I would like to thank PIB and also thank Sri Honorable Arvind Panagariya for giving me this opportunity. Because in fact, I have usurped in and took some of his time. I have to attend the consultative committee meeting and then go to Mumbai. That's why I'm not able to spend much of the time with you. But anyhow, I'll be regularly available to you. Wherever I'm coming, I normally meet the press because it's part of my responsibility. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir. Thanks for your time and attention. Thanks.
You stay back, please. Don't worry. This PIB thanking the minister is like wife thanking the husband. Saying, sir, you have come to home, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sir, आप आ जाइए. नहीं, आप इधर आ जाइए. Friends, the Honorable Vice Chairman will brief, but I am not sure whether he will be able to take many questions after that because he has to urgently attend a meeting. Besides, as you heard the Minister, he came in, it was not planned properly. So if you have questions, please send it in writing. Whatever we can accommodate, we'll accommodate.
Thank you. Our minister is a very, very tough act to follow. He not only is very informative, his speeches also contain huge amount of humor, and I'm afraid I really can't match his humor. So hopefully at least I can have a little bit of content. I thought, there remains, when I go to the states and speak to journalists, etc., I find, there remains still a lot of confusion about, what has happened after the Planning Commission was replaced by Niti Aayog. So I thought maybe what I would do is tell you in about 10 minutes or so what change has happened and what Niti Aayog has been doing and what its mandate is, etc. I could also tell you about the economy, what the Prime Minister has done in terms of the economic reforms, the kind of transformation that is underway. But maybe we can take that up in the Q&A. I will have some, I have to leave at 11. So if I take 10 to 12 minutes in my remarks, then we can use the rest of the time for Q&A. So maybe if there are any burning questions you have on the economy, I'll take those during the Q&A. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, the Planning Commission. Planning Commission had two kind of major activities. One was it wrote 5-year plans. And second, it allocated fairly large sums of money to the states for the state plans. Both of those activities have been now discontinued. 12th five-year plan would be the last five-year plan, of which the current fiscal year, 16-17, is the last year. And instead, we would now be writing, we are actually already in the process of writing a 15-year vision, 7-year strategy, and a 3-year action plan instead. So that's the first. Second, Niti Aayog no longer disburses any money, it does not allocate any money to the states. What has happened is that the 14th Finance Commission recommended that from the divisible pool, instead of 32%, which was disbursed previously to the states, which was devolved to the states previously, under the 13th Finance Commission, be raised to 42%. Now this extra 10% that was added by the 14th Finance Commission, of that about 6 or 7% was the money that the Planning Commission used to allocate to the states. So whatever Planning Commission was allocating now goes directly to the states from the divisible pool. And so therefore, the successor institution, the Niti Aayog, makes no allocations to the states. I think there was in my first year as the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, I found that there remained a lot of confusion and also some bit of discontent on the part of the states that the Niti Aayog was not allocating any funds. But I think now this is well understood by the states, and we are on to a different program. So now, very briefly, what Niti Aayog does. So there are 3 categories of activities I'd like to identify. The canvas is a lot wider, but I think 3 categories of activities are the major activities. One is what we may call the cooperative competitive federalism, which is our interface with the states. Second is our policy role with the Government of India. And the third is the function as a think tank of the government. So first on cooperative federalism, number of things have happened. Initially in the first year, there were 3 subgroups of chief ministers appointed to analyze and report on the centrally sponsored schemes, Swachh Bharat and skill development. And these 3 reports were done. Each subgroup was headed by a chief minister. And these were excellent reports. The one on centrally sponsored schemes has been fully implemented. Many of the provisions, many of the recommendations of the Swachh Bharat and skill development reports are also many have been actually implemented, others are under implementation. So a good bit of progress there. The Prime Minister had also appointed 2 task forces, or really it was the Governing Council which had appointed 2 task forces, one on agricultural development and the other on poverty elimination, which at the Niti Aayog I chaired, but the Governing Council had also said that parallel task forces, both on agriculture and poverty alleviation or poverty elimination, be set up in the states. So there were parallel task forces set up there. We worked with the states. Finally, those final task force reports have also been released in the form of some papers. The actual reports are yet to be kind of printed and circulated, but they are almost 95% or more same as the form in which they were circulated as occasional papers. During that process, of course, we interacted very intensively with the states. The preliminary papers were, we went to the states. I myself actually went to 4 or 5 of these states where we then brought in the neighboring states. So some western states we had one consultation, southern states we had a consultation, northeastern we had another, central we had another. So for each of these, we interacted very intensively. So that was part of the work done. Now, we also have the mandate to spread the best practices. So today I find actually that many of the states are far ahead of the central government and they are doing experiments successfully, scaling them up, and so what we also try to do is identify the best practices with the cooperation of the states, and then we try to spread them over the other states. So two particular instrumentalities that we have used are, one, we have brought out a very big book on best practices. We selected about 60 or so best practices from different states, and and this book has been very well received, gone to the chief ministers, chief secretaries, central ministries here, and there have been requests for multiple copies from the states as well as the central ministries. But we also, what we do is bring the ministries or the secretaries from the various departments to Delhi sometimes. Sometimes we go there to the states to discuss what these best practices are. We also twice a year have conferences of the chief secretaries on specific subjects. So now the role has really become much more, again, very think tank kind of institution, where we try to disseminate the best practices, we identify the best practices. Also with the states, we try to bring about reforms. As you know, there is one long list called the state list in the constitution, on which there are subjects on which only states can legislate. Agriculture and land issues also, well, some issues are actually only state issues. So these are land related, mostly agriculture related also. Then there are concurrent list subjects, which includes labor. So in these areas, we have actually tried to also push for reforms. Soon after I came, I started talking about land leasing, relaxing the land leasing laws. And since there was a very strongly positive reception from the states on that subject, I appointed a committee to draft a model land leasing law, which has been done, and that has now been adopted already by 2 states. Madhya Pradesh has already now put in place a land leasing law, which is very much along the lines of our model law. UP has done the same. Odisha has a draft which it will be bringing very soon also to the assembly. So some of the other states are considering, other states are also looking at the model law. Similarly, we have tried to spread the labor law reforms that initially Rajasthan carried out, but now has spread to Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, and Madhya Pradesh. Our current push, very big push by member agriculture, member of Niti Aayog, specializing in agriculture, Professor Ramesh Chand, is on agriculture. So particularly agricultural marketing. What has happened over the last many decades is that the farmer ends up getting a very tiny fraction of the price that the final consumer pays. And so if we are going to double the farmer's income by 2022, as the Prime Minister has set up as his objective, I think one of the key policy measures has to be that farmers begin to receive a better price for the produce that they sell, a larger fraction of what the consumer is paying. So there's a whole host of reforms to be done on Agricultural Produce Marketing Committees Act. This is a reform which was initiated under Prime Minister Vajpayee originally, but did not quite spread as well as it should have. So the matter has now been taken up very actively again by the Niti Aayog. So that's the interface. Well, one last thing I should mention on cooperative federalism is also that we adjudicate between the states and the central ministries. So there are often many pending issues of the states which have not been cleared by the central government needs to send answers, but these are lagging behind and all. So generally what we provide a facility under which the state can collect all its pending issues. Generally these are 25 to 30 issues that they collect together and they can send it to us. Then we do some homework here with the ministries. Once we have done our homework, we bring the states and the central ministries together. I sit in the meeting, and one by one we take up the issues and clear them. This is a very successful program about 90-95% of the issues are very satisfactorily resolved within that period of about 3 hours or so. So that's our matter on the cooperative federalism. On policy reforms, I'll tell you a few things we have done very recently. So we have pushed very strongly the closure of many of the sick units. That's something that has been talked about for decades, but has not happened. It's now happening. We have also identified units for strategic sales or privatization. That also we have done, sent to the cabinet a note which has been approved by the cabinet. So next step will be for the finance ministry to start privatizing these enterprises, public sector units. We are also pushing the reform of the Medical Council of India, the Indian Medical Council Act 1956, which is now very much outdated in big need of reform. So it is being reformed wholesale. There is a new medical commission, medical education commission that we have recommended, and that would pretty much revolutionize the education sector. The bill has to now actually go to the cabinet. After approval by the cabinet, it goes to the parliament. But there is a very substantial consensus in this area. So I'm pretty hopeful that what we are recommending will pretty much go through the parliament. We are also next looking at many of the autonomous institutions that exist in the system, what they are doing, what efficiency, are they efficient, are they required. So that's an area under review currently. There are also issues of education reform, higher education in particular. The Prime Minister has given us the charge to pilot the program to convert 10 public and 10 private universities into world-class universities. Then there's also issues of reforms of University Grants Commission and the AICTE, so that also we are looking at. Final last area, think tank function. So here we are at work. We are creating internal capacity for research, internal capacity for carrying out that think tank function. Two things I should mention that we have done. One is the best practices book that I mentioned earlier. But also, we started now what we call the Niti lectures, Transforming India. This is a very high-power series of lectures we are organizing, which is attended by the Prime Minister, the entire Council of Ministers, and the 3 top layers of the bureaucracy, all the secretaries, additional secretaries, and joint secretaries. This is about Prime Minister wanting to bring in fresh insights from the world's top experts, who then come and give a lecture. There is a panel discussion followed by it, then Q&A. This is a very important series. Our first lecture already happened here. Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore gave the first lecture. Second one is going to be given by Bill Gates on technology and transformation. So that's our kind of think tank function in progress right now. And let me conclude with that and open to Q&A.
Thank you, sir. Friends, we have 15 minutes roughly. Let's start with number 40. Yeah.
Dr. Panagariya, this is Sajid Mangad here from Bloomberg Quint. I just, as an economist, I want your views on what kind of impact the economy will have because of demonetization. We have seen nearly 86% of our value in currency being taken away and been replaced by newer currency notes. But in the transition period, what kind of economic impact will be there?
Yeah. This is a very, very good question. So right now, much of the debate and discussion we have seen is focused on the black money and cleaning of the black money. So that, of course, is a very positive step. Now, but there are a lot of subtle things that will happen as a result of it, which is why I think this is a very, very good question. One thing that is going to happen, of course, is that now the transactions will begin to move into the white economy. What this will also mean is that transactions will now go much more through the banking system. Savings that were kept in different forms, particularly in the form of these currency notes and all, they would now move into bank deposits. So we'll see some surge in the bank deposits. There is also issues here of money supply, right? So money supply, which the M1, if you think in the economic terminology, which is the narrow reserve money, that to some degree will shrink, right? Because this money which was in circulation goes out of circulation. The part that is the black money, right? Whatever is, whatever you and I have will go and exchange, right? So it will be replaced by, so to that extent, there is no change in money supply. But the part that is black money will be taken out, right? So there I think the money supply declines. And in the absence of any countervailing action by the central bank, by the Reserve Bank of India, what that does is to actually have an impact on the prices. So I would imagine that absent any action by the Reserve Bank of India, that would reduce the inflation rate. Very likely though, I would expect that the Reserve Bank of India will do some open market operations to replace at least partially this money supply.
Yeah.
So that is where the RBI has to be ready to do the open market operations.
नमस्कार सर, मैं के गणेशन अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड से।
Sorry?
अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड।
Okay.
सर, पोर्ट ब्लेयर में पिछले 12 साल से एफएम चल रहा है। उसमें मज़ेदार बात यह है कि बॉम्बे का विद्युत भारती का जो है प्रोग्राम चलती है, क्यों वहाँ लोकल प्रोग्राम नहीं देते हैं? नंबर 1। नंबर 2, मीडियम वेव ट्रांसमीटर जो है 100 kV का है, जहाँ की वहाँ आइलैंड ऐसा है, बिखरा हुआ आइलैंड, अंडमान निकोबार नॉर्थ मिडिल करके। नॉर्थ और मिडिल में बर्मा मिलती है, वहाँ से सिंगापुर मिलती है, जय बांग्लादेशी है, वहाँ में भी जो है मिलती है, लेकिन अंडमान निकोबार का जो लोकल प्रोग्राम है वहाँ नहीं मिलती है। क्यों ना इसको बढ़ाने से क्या होगा सर, केवी को? तीसरा जो है
नहीं, दो अभी one by one मिलना।
So, दो क्वेश्चन क्या?
बट क्वेश्चंस क्या?
ट्रांसमीटर वाला तो दैट आई कांट आंसर। मैं आपको ब्रॉड में आपको आंसर दे देता हूँ कि पिछली सरकारों ने आइलैंड्स के विकास पर कोई तवज्जो नहीं दी थी। ये सरकार इनफैक्ट बहुत हाई प्रायोरिटी है। मैं आपको बताऊँ, ये फर्स्ट हैंड बात है। मैं जब आया, पहली मीटिंग जो हुई मेरी पहली तो खैर कर्टसी मीटिंग में गया था उनको कर्टसी मीटिंग देने। सेकंड जो बड़ी मीटिंग हुई प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ, उसमें कई चीज़ें प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा कि मैं तुमको करना चाहता हूँ। उनमें से एक बड़ी जोर उन्होंने देकर कहा, करीब 5-7 मिनट तक इस बात को डिस्कस किया कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि हम आइलैंड डेवलप करें। तो ये मुद्दा नीति आयोग ने ले लिया है अब, और काफ़ी आगे बढ़ चुका है ये। आप देखेंगे कि आने वाले समय में अगले 1 से 2 साल के बीच में अंडमान निकोबार में काफ़ी कुछ जो है सरकार विकास का काम करेगी।
क्या नंबर 1 क्वेश्चन क्या है, और एक बार रिपीट कर लीजिए प्लीज।
एफएम जो है पिछले 12 साल से चल रही है सर। एफएम पिछले 12 साल से चलती है।
मतलब
एफएम रेडियो, एफएम रेडियो जो है पिछले 12 साल से चलती है। उसमें जो है अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप में मज़ेदार बात यह है कि वहाँ विद्युत भारती, बॉम्बे का विद्युत भारती चल रहा है। क्यों वहाँ का लोकल प्रोग्राम नहीं ये करते हैं?
अच्छा,
ये
ठीक है। इसमें ये तो मैं ये मुद्दा हम उठा देंगे यहाँ पर। मुझे इस विषय में कुछ पता नहीं है, ठीक है सर, डायरेक्टली। पर असल में ये प्रश्न हमारे जो इंफॉर्मेशन एनबी मिनिस्टर थे उन्हीं को बताना होगा।
और दूरदर्शन जो है सर शनिचर और संडे ने, बस वो लास्ट क्वेश्चन सर, अंडमान से है सर, जरा सा मौका दीजिए प्लीज सर।
नहीं, मैं मौका देता हूँ, मगर जो क्वेश्चन आईएनबी का है वो लिख के दे दीजिए, हम
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है, ओके। हाँ प्लीज।
Sir, I am Neeraj Romitra. I am Executive Editor, Daily Excelsior newspaper from Jammu and Kashmir. I want to know about the views of the working of Niti Aayog as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, particularly 2 areas, like most of the centrally sponsored scheme, though the ratio of the funding is higher, but still there is a failure in that area. And secondly, you have launched skill development programs, including Udan and other projects. Even those, the success rate is quite low. It has failed to achieve the desired results. So on both aspects, if you could highlight.
I have a connected question with this. Mr. Panagariya, I'm Prabodh Jamwal, editor Kashmir Times, Jammu and Kashmir. You have been a great votary of cooperative federalism. And if you remember, during the past few years, whenever these programs have been taken up and debate has been held on unilateralism versus cooperative federalism, we are coming from a state which has the autonomy under Article 370 or so, whatever you say, that it has to legislate on its own so far revenue collection and revenue sharing with the center is concerned. What are your views on this particular subject when we say we will devolve and allow more autonomy to the states, so far planning at the local level is concerned, and how do we blend it when Niti Aayog takes a new turn in terms of economic revival and federalism?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, as far as finances are concerned, Niti Aayog is no longer involved really, other than advisory. So you know, if the states come to us with the representation, we have those representations examined, and virtually always we are the sympathetic party to the states. So we try to, within the parameters that we see reasonable, we try to advocate the case of the state to the ministry. So many states now do write to us. You know, even if they write directly to the finance ministry, they copy it to us. So we do try to, you know, push what we can. But it has to be a good case. Because, you know, if the case is very weak and, you know, where the case is being made on older areas, for example, that, you know, there used to be these other funds that the Planning Commission used to have, those funds we don't have. So if anybody says, well, you know, this fund, these money used to be given, we should be given, there's not very much we can do on those. But there are other very reasonable issues that the states come with, and on those we generally go in and make the state's case to the finance ministry.
Friends, I'll make this the last question. Kindly bear with us. As I told you, please write your question. We will send it to Vice Chairman through my officer, and you will definitely get a reply. No need to worry. Yeah.
Mr. Panagariya, I'm Sina from Calcutta. So you said that under the 10% extra award by the 14th Finance Commission for the states, 6 or 7% represented the whatever the Planning Commission used to give to the states. What about the balance 3-4%?
That was extra. That balance was actually extra. So the 14th Finance Commission did actually in absolute, did actually increase the devolution from the divisible pool to the states.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman. Sir, we would have liked to have you for a longer time, but for your urgent engagement, and also we had to dovetail Honorable IMD Minister's presence here also. Friends, as I again repeat, please write your questions. We'll take it up. Well, thank you, Honorable. Where is Rahul?